Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before starting my video, if you didn't subscribe my channel, please do, and do not forget to turn on notifications as I'm sharing great contents for you. Alright, previous lesson we completed our abstraction section of our project. Now we can carry on with the entities and customer section. Okay, let's create the structure of each entity. So I'm going to create DTO folder, which I'm going to keep my DTOs here. DTO means data transfer object. It is the same meaning what the actually not the same meaning. It's the DTO is the same thing with the V model we use in our MVC project, if you didn't hear this before. Okay, and the other one is events. We're going to keep our events in this event folder, and the other one is going to be value objects. I'm going to explain what the value objects in this lesson while we're creating our customer entity. Perfect. Now let's create the entity itself. Customer. Let's Control RG, clear everything. Perfect. And make it public sealed class. I'm using sealed because I want to be used this customer somewhere else. I don't want it to be used. So this is the customer, and I'm inheriting base entity. Perfect. So we received our all property and methods, everything. We all brought them into our customer right now. Okay. First of all, I need to create our empty constructor first of all, because the EF core needs an empty constructor to make a migration. Alright, then we're going to create our properties first. Prop string title. Let's create quickly all of them first, then we're going to convert rich domain model. Okay, prop string first line address, and make this second line address, and we need a postcode, we need a city, we can add the country as well. I'm assuming country. Yep, perfect. So we have a title and we have address, and I'm going to keep the balance of the customer in this table. Prop decimal balance. Yep, and all will be a private set. It's a private set. But as you can see, the managing of all of them is really hard. For example, this is the address section, and it just located in the customer entity is a first line address, second line address, postcode, city, country. The managing is really hard, and we are using the primitive type of the properties, which is, how can I say, not very best practice for the projects at the moment. So I'm going to switch them to value objects, and it is going to be more manageable once we switch them. Okay, let's try to make them a value object. So I'm going to create a new record, which is called address. Control RG. Let's make it public and record. Let's use a primary constructor using this address. So we need a string first line address, and then string second line address, string postcode, string city, string country. and all done. But the second line address can be nullable, so I'm putting a question mark here and all done. So we have a value object address, and all we need to do is delete this old section and add new address here as an address for the customer. It is much more best practice, guys. I'm suggesting to use this kind of approach while you're creating your entities. Alright, let's get rid of all this kind of perimeter types. So I'm going to create a new value object for title, but this title can be used somewhere else. So I'm going to create this in shared section. Let's create a value object for title. This is not mandatory, by the way, for creating a value object just for one item, but this is became a tradition for me. I'm using now these records for everywhere records, and so I'm going to give a string, so which is named the value. This is going to be the value of the title. This is the pattern I'm using for just one value for one record. Okay, and let's have a look. Yep, here we go. I'm gonna switch it with the title right now. Let's add the namespace in our project. Perfect. So we have a title, we have address, and we know now the title is title, the address is address right now. The balance still says decimal, and I need to know the balances must be a balance. So let's create another record in our shared section. I'm gonna give a money, give a name with the money. So it can be balance, unit price, I don't know, it depends on your imagination. Let's make a public record. It's just going to keep the money based numbers, which is going to be decimal and the value. Perfect. It's all converted. Now all we need to do is switch it to money. Perfect. Now we have a rich domain model right now, guys. We get rid of basically all primitive types, and it's all done. Perfect. The other thing, we're going to create our methods. Let's continue. Actually, before that one, I'm going to create my constructor first, because I'm using private set, and this is the only method able to create a new customer is going to be a constructor. Perfect. So we have a title, address, and money. All done. Let me have a look quickly. Yeah, and as you can see, we have a warning here. It just basically says non-nullable, non-nullable, non-nullable warnings, and to get rid of is, as usual, we're using this thing, which I really don't like it, but I hate that warnings all the time. Just get rid of you. I'm adding not null section. Yep. And yeah, let's continue how we're able to use this constructor. Now I'm going to make it private. I don't want my user to create a new customer using new keywords. So I'm going to create a factory design pattern again to create a new customer. To do that, I'm going to use public static. Yeah, the return is going to be customer, and let's say create. Perfect. For now, actually, I'm going to receive the title, address, and money, whatever we need, but later I'm going to switch this section with the DTO. I'm planning to switch with the DTO. Let's see what's gonna happen, and how I'm going to design it. Let's continue with it right now for the manual typing. Title title, and the address, and I'm not gonna give any balance because it's going to be 0, so I don't need to give as a parameter. Let's open our scopes. Let's say var customer is going to be new customer. We're able to create a new because this is a private. We are in the class. We can use new keyword in our class. Okay, let's open our brackets and let's try to add. Let's have a look at our constructors. It's asking us a title, address, and balance, right? The title is which is going to be title, address is going to be address, and the money is going to be new money, which is requiring a decimal value. I'm going to give a 0, and all done. New customer is created. Now, all I need to do is var customer raise domain event, because I'm going to create a logic here. Once we create a customer, I'm going to create an event, and for the listener, hey, hello guys, the customer is created. If you would like to do something, it's really time to do that. Listen to me, the customer is created. Is a kind of announcement, yeah. So once we listen this domain event, we're going to do what with the handler. What we're going to do in the handler is creating email in this scenario and send this email to the customer itself, yeah. So the domain event, we're going to create a new domain event, customer. We didn't create this class yet. Let's type first customer created domain event, and we're going to send the customer dot id. Hold on, but we didn't create the method yet. Let's leave as it is. Let's complete the create method, and return is going to be return customer. All we need to do is create customer domain event. Now let's go back to the event folder and add new class customer created domain event, and it is going to be record again. Let's make a public record, and it's taking a parameter which is going to be quit customer ID. Perfect, all done. Now all we need to do is add the namespace. Okay, what's the problem here? Let me have a look. Customer create domain 2. Did we something wrong? Let's have a look quickly. This is yeah, that's the problem. It's requiring iDomain event, but we forgot to tag our event with the domain event. That's the problem. Let's add our domain event tag to our events. Let's save it. Let's go back to customer. As you can see, we don't have any more problem here. Okay. Another thing we're going to add, let's put some spaces between those. I'm going to add one-to-many connection relation with the invoices, but we didn't create the invoices class yet, so I'm going to make a comment. Invoices will be located here as a command, not to forget what I've done. Actually, let's make pattern. For example, if I type here search for needed, yeah, if I type everywhere search for needed, if I type Ctrl Q, and if I copy this section using search on code search and text, I will able to reach every notes I created, if I forgot to go back again, it is going to be good pattern for us for now. Okay, search for needed. Yeah, perfect. Let's close the section, and the customer section has been completed. Should I create the DTO as well? I'm just thinking. Let's create the DTO now, and then we can. I'm just thinking. If I do that one, let's try to create a DTO. Yeah. If it didn't work in the API section while we're testing our API endpoints, we can come back here again, change them again. All right, let me have a look now. So we have a, let's say, customer DTO. Okay, Control RG. Let's make it public, and I'm going to change the name base customer DTO, but I'm gonna keep the customer DTO as it is as a file name, because I'm going to add more classes down. Let's try to add. I'm just gonna copy and paste to make this things quicker. Let's copy and paste here. Okay, so we have a create customer DTO and an update customer DTO, but there is no a big difference between these two. So I'm just using inheritance based customer DTO, and all we need to do is prop string title. Actually, to make the things quicker for now, I'm going to just add the rich domain model. All right, as it is. Then we're going to switch them to primitive one, because when it comes to receiving input from user, the rich domain model is going to be a little bit useful, sorry, non-useful. So we can switch them to primitive one for the DTO, but not to waste time. For now, I'm using the normal rich models. Not to forget, I'm gonna add my search for needed, and let's say switch it to, actually, you know what, I'm gonna make it now. Let's do all of them. Prop string title, public string first line address, to make it second line address, and postcode, and the other one is going to be, let me have a look, city, and the other one is going to be country. Okay, let's add our null section and Control KD, Control C. The second line is going to be, okay, I forgot the semicolon. Let's add all of them, and the second line can be nullable. Perfect. So we have create customer, we have update. Update might have an ID, so I'm going to add create ID. Let's say the name of it is going to be customer ID. Customer ID. Anything else should I add it for our DTOs? Control RG, deleted unnecessary namespaces. It seems all good. Let's come back to customer, and let's add here, instead of these sections, I'm going to add create customer DTO request. Perfect. The title is going to be a new title. The value is going to be request the title, and the address new address, request dot first line address, request dot second line address, request dot postcode, request dot, I'm assuming, what was the other one, city, yep, and request dot country. All done. Let's use a vertical design. Yep, address is created, title is created, money is 0, all perfect. All we need to do is use this create customer DTO in our API input and endpoint as a parameter. Perfect. Let's save everything. All done. Customer section is completed. All we need to do is create other section and add our connections. I'm gonna finish this lesson here, and next lesson will be products, invoice, and invoice items all together. So you know how to switch our primitive types to rich domain models in clean architecture in your project, guys. All right. If you drop a comment and if you crush the like button, I will be really appreciated. It really motivates me creating new videos, and I really need it for the YouTube algorithm to bring my content to upper ranks and upper levels. Yeah, that's all for me for now. Take care of yourself. See you on the next lesson, guys. Bye bye.